My husband woke me up 5 times last night because he was sick, and he knew that I wasn't getting much sleep because of our sick toddler, and I lost it when he asked me to get up early to take our child to daycare when he was supposed to. I plan on sending this post to my husband once the verdict is in, whichever way it goes, so I'll add as much of his perspective as I can. Our toddler was sick through the weekend. I was up with him one night from 12:15 to 2:45, and off and on the next night. I probably got 10 to 12 hours of broken sleep the whole weekend. Yesterday, my husband mentioned he was starting to feel a little sick. Last night I went to bed early hoping to catch up on rest. All throughout the night, my husband woke me up way more often than my toddler ever does, even on a bad night. Some of the times were not directly his fault, but other times I felt like he was being inconsiderate. 1. He snored loudly in my ear. 2. He asked for another blanket because he had the chills. I told him it was at the foot of the bed. He asked for help and reminded me that he helps me when I'm sick, and that he'd still do the morning routine with our son. 3. He had a nightmare I had to shake him awake from. Normal. 4. He whispered at Alexa to ask for the time. 5. He asked for another blanket. I gave him mine. 6. He made a phone call, in bed, and left a full-volume voicemail to his work to let them know he'd need to take a sick day. 7. At 5:30 in the morning, he woke me to ask if I could do the wake-up routine with our son. I do bedtime, he does wake up. At this point I blew up. I expressed how mad I was that he woke me up all night long, and now I have to wake up early to do what he said he'd still do, and I don't get to stay home and catch up on sleep. He said I was in the wrong because marriage is in sickness and in health. I immediately got up to get ready. He said I didn't have to start getting ready so early. I said yes I did because I start work at 7:30. I barely make it to work on time when I wake up at 6 o'clock, and now I have to unexpectedly skip my shower, get my toddler ready, get his food ready for the day, feed him breakfast, drop him off at daycare, then take myself to work. I said he was a grown man with a cold, and he robbed me of the rest I needed, and that I'll be sleeping on the couch tonight. At that point I asked for space and we haven't talked since. I was late for work, which is a big deal at my job. I might be a jerk for blowing up at my husband when he asked for support during an unexpected illness. Am I the jerk for being mad at my sick husband? Update. He's sick. Be nice. I agree, and I also felt unwell. I was never mad at him for being sick. I was mad about the wake-ups and the last-minute change in plans that could have been avoided with better communication. Grace and empathy should go both ways. Wait until it's your turn to be sick. We have been together 10+ years and we each have the same standard of self-sufficiency, but we generally help each other when sick: soup, tea, meds, the works. Within reason. Extra TLC is appreciated, but we're not children. Never have I ever woken him up repeatedly throughout the night. This was an unusual situation that was exacerbated by my sleep debt and his sudden symptoms. Why didn't he help you over the weekend? He did help a lot during the daytime on the weekend to give me rest breaks because I did the overnight wake-ups, but that does not include naps. I find it extremely difficult to take naps and he knows it. My mind just doesn't turn off until bedtime. He generally can't help with the overnights because of a legitimate medical condition that could worsen with repeated lack of sleep. Husband does all the wake-ups and lets me sleep in on the weekends to make up for the overnights. Why didn't you sleep in the guest room? We don't have one anymore. Why didn't you take the couch if he was sick? Symptoms didn't hit hard until after we went to sleep, which is why we didn't initially sleep separately or change the morning arrangements the night before. Why didn't you take the couch after the first few wake-ups? I'm used to a few wake-ups. I wasn't expecting the next 5. Once I'm physically up, I'm mentally up. If I had gotten up from the bed, it would have been difficult to go back to sleep at that point. Does he have sleep apnea? I have suggested to him in the past that he does and should do a sleep study. He hasn't yet and I'm not going to make an appointment for him. Snoring and nightmares aren't his fault. I already said they weren't. The nightmares are regular for him. We sleep separately often because of them, per my request. We'll go months sleeping apart, but then he'll say that he doesn't sleep well alone, and since we only have the couch as a separate sleep space, I often cave and let him sleep with me again. He doesn't let me take the couch. Why did you take a sick child to daycare? Daycare's policy is 24 hours fever-free without other symptoms or medication. I could never be married to you. You're so selfish. I wasn't taking applications. But can you feel that tension between us, or is that just me? Update. Husband saw the comments and guaranteed me uninterrupted sleep going forward. I again offered to sleep on the couch, but he insisted he take it in the baby monitor. As a compromise, we'll be sleeping separately on weeknights, and together on weekends, unless I need to catch up on sleep or if one of us is sick. After seeing all perspectives, including husband's, I'll agree with an ESH verdict with me being 20% the jerk. I had a right to be mad, But I should not have blown up. He should be able to ask for help, but within reason. I apologize for being snappy. He apologized for the wake-ups. No divorce lawyers necessary.